shoulder stand. Right. Shoulder stand. It's a big pose. The benefits that you get from the inversions are fantastic. The legs are, the thighs, the hamstrings, they're really big units, so they require a lot of blood in order to keep you moving around all the time. Now the heart, I know there's pumps in there that to help this, but the heart is always trying to draw that blood back up to the heart so it could be recycled and back around. But it has gravity working against it as well. So sometimes the brain cannot be getting as much blood as maybe it would need, because the legs, maybe you're asking the legs to do heavy work for you, but they're taking up a lot of the work, so we don't get that lovely big flush out of fresh blood and prana up through the brain. So when we tip ourselves upside down, what we do is we empty all of the legs and all the way down and into the torso, and the body goes, oh great, well the legs are in the air now, so we're not using them. They only need a little bit of blood now just to keep them up there. They're not doing anything, so they don't require a lot of blood. So all that blood rushes down through the internal organs, flushing out all of any toxins. It comes up, it plumps the heart right up. The brain gets flushed out with all of this pranic energy, all of this blood. And it's really, really good. If you've ever heard of SAD syndrome, and it happens in the UK a lot, is we spend a lot of time in the winter with very short days and it's quite dark. So people get really heavily depressed and it's terrible. I mean, they can't work. But if you do a headstand every day or an inversion every day, even if you get out of bed or when you're in bed, just get your legs up in the air and it flushes all that out, you'll find a lot of that stuff, negativity, things like that will just disappear. You'll feel much sprightlier and healthier and ready for the day. So shoulder stand, again, can feel like you're really trapping your neck. So it's about creating the space for yourself as you move up and into the shoulder stand. So what you want your hands, your elbows as close together as you can get them. But again, this how tight you are in the shoulders will determine that. And your hands as close up towards your shoulder blades as you can. So high up your back, because that's what helps lift the spine up and create the length. So I would start lying on the floor. I would draw the knees in, I would exhale, and then inhale, lift the legs, roll back a little, and then bring my hands into the small of the back and try and get, you see how I'm walking my hands up my back, starts to help lift and straighten my spine, and it brings me under the shoulders. So you'll find a lot of people in your class will do a shoulder stand, but you'll look like this. So what you want to do is push the heels back and the hips forward and shoot up through the toes. So again, lift up, and then if you lift the chin, you create a little bit of space. So hips are moving forward, heels are moving back, and I'm shooting the energy up through the feet. Big breaths. Chin is lifted away from the chest and pushing into the shoulders and the elbows. And to come down, I would bend the knees, straighten the legs into plough, and then roll down, bring the hands underneath the sit bones, straighten the legs, lift up onto the forearms, push the tailbone down, lift the chest, and exhale, lay the head back. A little counter pose. Inhale, lift the head, and come up to seated. So you see how when I push into my elbows and my shoulders, it pushes my hands forward, which helps lift my spine. And then that enables me to, if the weight is in my shoulders and the back of my elbows and I'm pushing up through my hands, which helps lift the chest up and lift the spine more straight for me, then the action of just moving the hips forward and pushing the heels back brings you into alignment. And once you're in alignment, you'll really feel it. It will go light, it will go woof up. But as long as you have that little bend in the legs, and you'll notice this because this is one of the things that you'll be adjusting in your class. We'll go over in the adjustments module that we do. But so you're always looking for that alignment. But if you can feel it yourself by pushing into the back of the shoulders and into the elbows, and then really using that energy to push the back and help lift the torso, then as you push the hips forward and the heels back, you'll feel yourself come into alignment. The feet will be stacked over the knees, and the knees will be stacked over the hips, and the hips will be over the shoulders. And then that creates just that little bit of space to lift the chin away from the neck a little, which makes the breathing of the exercise much easier. Because if you're like this, it feels very trapped. So I think push into the shoulders, you're drawing the shoulders down, and then you're pushing into the back of the head a little bit, just lengthen the back of the neck. It creates this little space, and it makes it much easier to breathe when you're there, which means you can stay there longer. So there we have it, shoulder stand. Practice, and remember that hips moving forward and then feet coming back are what you're looking for. So remember what the pose looks like, because it feels like it looks. When you do the pose, it goes, whoa, oh yeah, there it is. So remember, you know, do it next to a mirror, have a little look at yourself and see what I mean. So you're moving your hips towards your face and your heels towards the back of the room is the best way to remember it. Hips are forward, back, you're supporting the lower back, pushing into the elbows, create that space. And then don't have the legs wide, they're together, toes are pointed, and you're really shooting the energy out through the feet. So there we have it, shoulder stand. Namaste.